because for now we can only do that through the school and through the church. And what we preach that in the church, and in the school too, we invite parents and we talk about this. And in our school, our kids, they know, even if they played Rasta during feast, immediately after feast, and they know that they are going to school the next day, they will tell their parents to lose it.
So there are some people who simply argue we are fighting a losing battle, we cannot control the situation, our kids will just have to go that way. The power of the mass media to corrupt morally, and then you have these imbalances in the flow of global information. We are almost on the receiving end. These things images will be there always in our bedrooms, in our sitting rooms, in our dining rooms, everywhere you are.
And that's why we develop a system in our school. We only have one shift. And in this shift, what we do is that because we know most of the parents will be closing by 4. So now if you close these kids by 3:30, by the time they get home, their parents would have been on their way coming. So before they will go home, because most of these kids, now looking at our society, a child of 3 years will know how to operate TV. And you will not have that control when you are at work to know what channel is that child watching. And that's why we are using Ghanaian system. We engage them with a lot of things like we do introduce taekwondo. So you mean
there is this unnecessary exposure, sometimes even dangerous exposure, unlimited.
Exactly.
To outside influence. And
so that is why we close them at that time. By the time they get home, they are tired, they need to rest, and they have assignment to do. Every day they go with assignment.
So they won't have the time to
They will not have much time to fool around. So from that time, then their parents would have been at home to help them.
As a religious man, I have interest in this area, and I would want to know what your position and opinion is. The peaceful coexistence between Christians and Muslims in this country. What is your take on this?
Yes, the Gambia has always been like that, but more now that our president is always talking about that. And Gambia, like we all know, Christians and Muslims are always together, because there's no Muslim who will tell you that I don't have any Christian relative or Christian friend. And there's no Christian who will tell you that I don't have any Muslim relative or a Muslim friend. So with this, Gambia, you can be sure that there will be nothing like Nigeria or some of the things we see in other countries, because Gambians are one. And this oneness will continue, I believe.
Yeah, it's good that you yourself mentioned Nigeria as a fitting example here. But why is Nigeria different? I'm not asking you to speak for Nigerians, but from a personal perspective.
Well, my experience with Nigerian, I visited Nigeria a couple of times. When I was a student, I visited Nigeria several times, and when I came back home too, I visited Nigeria several times. But what I came to find is that you can easily see the distinction between Christian and Muslims.
The divide is all too conspicuous.
Yes, you can just see it just like that. But in the Gambia here, how will you know in the street whether I'm a Muslim or a Christian? It's difficult to tell. Unless maybe if I mention my name, sometime you may see, because we have a lot of Christians who have Muslim names, and we have even Muslims who have Christian names. So even if you go to the tourist industry, all of those ones, all of those bombers and all those things, they all have Christian names.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Many of them.
You come also in town here, you find a lot of people having Christian names, but that does not mean that they are Christians, or Christians having Muslim name. That may not necessarily mean that they are Muslims. So that one in the Gambia, you know, and this, one of the things that is very strong, and some of the things that I like, that is, I'm from Nyomi, and if a Jaranka will see me, he will start teasing me.
The joking relationship.
Yeah, the joking relationship. So with this, you know, it will hardly, if not impossible, you know, create any conflict in the Gambia, because the moment I touch you, I have touched my friend, I have touched a relative. So obviously, it will be practically impossible to have any conflict or religious conflict in the Gambia.
Even for the long term?
Yes, even for the long term. The only thing we need to work on as Gambians is the parental problem that I'm talking about. We are really losing grasp of it in the sense that, you know, sometimes you go to the beach during this tourist season, you don't know where some of these kids are coming from. So some of these kids will be there up to 12 o'clock. Which time will they have to go and study their books and then to pass their exams? And that is what is happening in most of this grade 9. The Ministry of Education is trying very hard, but they cannot try very hard in the absence of the parents. You see that most of our grade 9, some people will come with aggregate 30-something, and parents will still see those kids to be trying. Whereas in Ghana, if you get aggregate 30-something, nobody knows that you did grade 9 exams. And
do we have problem with standards?
Yes, we have problem with standard, but the Ministry of Education, I should confess this here today, that I commend them, most especially under the leadership of Fatula Menfai. She's Honorable Fatula Menfai. She's a very hard-working woman, and the PS I respect. And one of the guys I respect much is Mohamed Diallo, the Director of Planning. He was the first one who gave me the go-ahead with education, because when I saw my certificate to most of them, they said, no, if you start school, you will soon leave it and go to these Nigerian banks and start working. I said, no, I want to start school and I will continue with it. They said, no. So Mohammed has to drive his car, came to Willingara where I was going to start the school, checked the whole place, and he was satisfied. And as a Gambian, I have an envelope I wanted to give him. He said, no, I'm doing my own job.
That is what they call the golden handshake.
Yes. He said,
he never took it.
Yes, he said, no, I'm doing my own job, so you need not give me anything. And he means it. And a year, 2 years after, I told him I got a land at Bruceby, which is 100 by 100 meters square. I say, how will you develop it? I say, I will develop it. And now if you get there, you will be very happy. Because I have not developed it fully because I don't have all what it takes to develop it now. And I'm praying hard and trusting God that here against next year, I would have finished with most of these things, because now I'm building a story building which will house about 10 classrooms and 4 offices right now.
Yeah, you've been supported in this project, education project? Or is it an individual undertaking?
It's an individual undertaking. I started the whole idea, but now I have like a lot of people who are supporting now the project. Most of these people are not rich. Some of them are just colleagues in the university. So they don't have much money, but they do sacrifice part of their salaries, sending it to me here to help, you know, eat some of the things that I'm doing here.
Because they are impressed with what you are doing.
Exactly, and that was what motivated a lot of them, because in this inauguration, 65 people came from different countries. They had to come and see what I'm doing in the Gambia here.
What's your academic background?
Well, my academic, I just have first degree. I have a degree in theology, major in education administration.
Is there the danger that at one point in life you may no longer be a pastor or a man of God as such, dedicated to the church and the ministry?
No, for ministry, that one is my blood. I love ministry, and when it comes to education, because ministry is all geared towards education, I like teaching. Teaching is part of me, even while at any given point in time, I always like to teach. So,
yeah, well, I'm asking this question. When you grow into a big engineer, multi-million dollars or multi-million dollar, you become a big man. I'm wondering, probably that could affect your concentration as far as God and religion is concerned.
To me, I see it in a different perspective, in the sense that You know, like this one I told you I'm in partnership with